Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and this is your match preview for tonight's game under the lights at the City Ground, Nottingham Forest v Arsenal. So looking at the context, we lost 1-0 as we all know to West Ham on the weekend, severely denting our title hopes, if we had them at all. And then of course Liverpool went on to literally sweep aside Man City on Sunday. And then Nottingham Forest had an interesting game at Newcastle, as we've experienced ourselves, but they came up short just in the end, but a fantastic game nevertheless. 4-3 to Newcastle that ended up. So in terms of both teams, obviously we're both coming off the back of a defeat, and we're both in the same position that we were prior to the weekend, so we're still second, albeit we're now 11 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand. Nottingham Forest is still sitting in third place. And looking at the form guide for the last 5 games, again, it's a kind of similar kind of mixed bag really for both teams. So surprisingly, out of the last 5, we've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 2. I say surprisingly because I think it's the context of when you're going for a league title, those defeats sort of burn even more, and they can kind of take over the bigger picture, I guess, which is perhaps what Arteta was trying to get at in his press conference, which we'll come into in a bit. And Nottingham Forest again have got a mixed bag. So looking at it, they've won 1, drawn 1, lost 3. So yeah, it's kind of interesting with Forest because, I mean, you've got to say that Nuno Espirito Santo has done an absolutely fantastic job with that team. Looking at where they came from, you know, when he took over and then got them out of that relegation zone, and he's just pushed on this season just unbelievably, and he's got to be surely up for Manager of the Year potentially. I know he usually goes to whoever wins the league, and I've no doubt Slot will come in and take that, and it might be justified, but I'm just saying, in the context of what he's done and where he's taken them from, he's done an absolutely fantastic job. And you know, some of the players, like, I mean, who would have thought that Chris Wood at this present time is like one of the best strikers in the Premier League? You know, you wouldn't have said that a few seasons ago. So it just, again, a credit to him, but I think a lot of credit goes to the manager as well, and the way that he's got that team set up, particularly the 2 wide players and that focal point up front, pretty much just emphasising what we haven't got. But you know, it is what it is, people. So looking at the team news, and I think it's likely to be pretty much the same team as we saw on the weekend from an Arsenal point of view. I mean, we know Nwaneri came off, but Arteta has said that was just cramp, obviously because of the load at the moment. He's having to play quite a lot of games. So I guess that could be an interesting one. Does he stick with him? Does he pull him out of this game? We'll have to wait and see. Personally, I'd probably stick with him because, as out of the front 3, it's difficult because we know, you know, he's a young kid, he's 17, and we need to protect him, but at the same time, we are just left in that situation where we're having to play, you know, these players because they are the ones that are giving us any kind of inspiration on the pitch. Ben White is another interesting case. Now, he obviously came on the weekend, so he's coming back from injury, but I just wonder whether he will start this game. I have a feeling that he will. I think he adds so much to our team. It's such a relief that he's back. He's a fantastic player. I mean, just thinking about that chance that went close at the end of that game on the weekend against West Ham, I mean, that just typifies him. He's not only does he defend brilliantly, he gets up and down that flank, supporting Saka when obviously he was playing, and he's a threat as well. He really is, and so yeah, great to have him back. And I think it'd be interesting to see if he starts him in this game. And then we've got the conundrum up front, as we've talked about a number of times. Where does he go with this? Does he stick with Mourinho? Do you bring Sterling into the central striker role? I'm undecided, but I've got to say that, you know, I have been a critic of the way that Sterling has played for us, but I have to say, I personally would be giving him a chance up front because when I've seen him play for us, I think he only looks a threat when he's in that central role. I just remember a specific part of that Leicester game, and it was pretty bad, but he was at one point going straight through the middle. He got a shot off. It wasn't great, but it was something that we don't generally do or have up there. So yeah, I'd be inclined to give him a go. That being said, I think people we've got to. I just feel like it's so predictable with Arteta, and after the press conference the other day, I'm pretty sure that it will be the same front three, and Mourinho will be that starting point. Obviously, we know Lewis Skelly is out following the red card on the weekend, so Calafiori started that game anyway, so I would expect him to again be starting that game. So, looking at the press conference comments, this was really interesting. So, this was Arteta yesterday, and I pulled this up from Arsenal.com, so go and check it out. Obviously, it's his whole press conference word for word. And he was asked about, whether we've got still a chance in the title race, are you clutching at straws? And this comment really stuck with me. So, if you're going to win the Premier League with the circumstances we have, you're probably going to have to do something nobody else has done in the history of the Premier League. And I just, as soon as I heard that comment, I was kind of like, but you knew this. Like, you knew this going into January. You knew this at the start of the season. So why, as a club, have we let this situation play out? It's just painful, but it's just the irony sometimes of the comments that these people make in these press conferences. It's just crazy. And picking up from the last press conference, so after the West Ham game, when he was questioned on the team selection, he said that he would do the same thing again. I would play the same players, tactics, etc. So I fully expect, as I say, tonight's game, it will be the same team. They've got to come out and pull out a performance from somewhere. I appreciate that it's tough right now. We're frustrated as a fan base, and whilst he talks in the press conference, Arteta, about embracing the challenge of this situation and the having to come up with different solutions around attacking threats and stuff like that. I struggle to believe that, to be honest. Surely even in the camp, the players, they must look at it and I don't know. Perhaps, but hopefully they're a lot more positive than some of us. But I would struggle at this point because I'm looking around the dressing room and I'm thinking, where are the goals going to come from? Where's the inspiration? Where's the creativity? Where's the drive? To be honest, because if we looked at, and I know we've talked about this in previous videos, but Odegaard's performance as a captain last week was not good. He really has gone missing quite a bit. Whether again he's carrying some sort of injury and he hasn't really recovered from when he was out earlier on in the season, who knows? But yeah, we really need to just pull our socks up and just try and get on with things and try and get a positive result tonight. So that being said, predictions for tonight's game. And it's difficult, this one, because I want to be positive, but equally, as you will see if you continue to watch my videos, which I hope you do, I'm just a realist and I will just say it as it is, and I just cannot see cannot see where a goal's coming from, to be honest. So whilst I expect there to be a reaction in terms of the level of performance that we give, I am struggling to see people where the goal's going to come from. So I would predict Nottingham Forest 2, Arsenal 1, and that pains me to say it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm wrong and we can be sitting here talking tomorrow celebrating a win when I do the match reaction video. But yeah, there we have it, people. Can't wait for the game. Anybody that's going up there, make as much noise as possible, get behind the boys. Yeah, and as always, like, subscribe, click that notification button. We're here for all of your breaking news relating to Arsenal, match previews, match reactions. Keep it here, people. Thank you.